Well, as Rob Schneider says in The Waterboy, we suck again. The Sharks look just pitiful tonight to add a 4-0 loss against the Washington Capitals. All that and more on this edition of Teal Town After Dark. But first, if you want to be a part of the show and Teal Together and interact with us, chat with us, follow fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app, follow us across all of the social media channels, that being Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the YouTube chat, SoundCloud, Reddit, and all of the shenanigans that go down in the Discord. If you want to find great news, articles, and up-to-date stories on the Sharks, check us all out at tealtownusa.com.
All right, Landy, thanks, bud. And this is a special night. Of course, it's Hockey Fights Cancer night on the with the Sharks game tonight, but we're doing something a little bit special. So for over our next 3 shows, that includes tonight with this game, we'll recap the Capitals game. Tomorrow's show for Pucknologist, your recap. And then, of course, on Monday, following the Sharks and Hurricanes, every Venmo donation. So we're trying to make sure we, don't use the Super Chat. Go to Venmo to put your donation in here. Every Venmo donation to us will go to Hockey Fights Cancer via hockeyfightscancer.com/Vegas. Everything that we get will be donated over to there, and we'll draw some. We got plenty of prizes and stuff that we'll have fun with on Wednesday. We'll draw some winners from some awesome prizes, and if you saw the game tonight, they are having that raffle prize for the trip to the All-Star game. If we win, one of you that donated could win it. So by all means, Venmo us at Teal Town USA, and we will make sure that gets over there for a great donation and great cause, as we say, puck cancer for sure. So,
well, I guess we got to break down this shit show. I mean, Erik, I guess wide brush strokes right off the bat. I mean, what did you see tonight? Was it fatigue getting back home from the road trip? Was it just being outmatched and outclassed? All of the above?
See, I thought there was fatigue already when they played the Blues. They seemed like they were out of it. They're tired. They're gassed. The other thing too, bud, maybe they're not 100% ready to go. With the COVID restrictions and everything, it's going to take them time to get back into conditioning. It could take some time for them to get into some issues to get them rectified. I mean, getting the lungs back. One of the things when I was there, I saw one of my favorite longtime Blue Coats, Mary. She dealt with COVID and was having some issues with her lungs. So, and it just triggered me. It's like, hey, maybe these guys aren't fully recovered and ready to go, but they're out there right now. And, it's tough. But also, Landy, let's be honest here. It doesn't help when you're letting in a goal again 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just quickly off the bat. You've got Conor Sheary scoring from Sprong and Protus. Conor Sheary's 4th goal of the year, but that goal, I mean, the defensive positioning was not good, and they just kind of let him into the slot, kind of off the hook. And we've been seeing them really give up the slot and really give up the center of the ice quite easily, that being the defensive pairings for the Sharks. And unfortunately, Conor Sheary gets off just a innocent, kind of nonchalant shot, and you've got Adin Hill. I don't know what he's doing there, and he's clearly wasn't ready to start the game. And you can't let that kind of goal in if you're going to expect to beat this team.
No,
it's just straight how it is.
Yeah, I mean, the tough part is that It's kind of a hybrid of Martin Jones. You let it in a goal first 5 minutes of the game, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the third straight period the Sharks allowed a goal about, the first 2.5 minutes into a period, going back to the last game against the Blues, which is not good. And then you have the hint of Auntie Niemi, where he can't close his damn 5-hole. And for a big goaltender, you got to have those reflexes to get back to it, bud. I mean, shoot.
Yeah. I mean, it's how when you're starting off that early and you're starting off that early on the wrong foot against a team that has Alexander Ovechkin, that is not a recipe for success. And this is continuing the struggle. We're continuing to see the struggles of Adin Hill, and I'm not sure what to make of that. I'm not sure if it's the frame. We like the frame, and we like the physical attributes.
Right.
We like the movement. He seems to be aggressive, but right now he's lending in some really weak fundamentals type goals.
Yeah, you got to have those.
And again, it's if you're already starting off the bat down 1-0 in the first 2 minutes to an Alexander Ovechkin led Washington Capitals team, you're not going to win many of those games.
No, and it's a backbreaker 2 minutes in. You can't have it, man. And that's the tough part, is that you're already down and out 2 minutes in, and it's like it just makes things a whole lot heavier for you. We'll be getting a lot of these in right away. I already see Caroline. Thank you for your donation as well on there. So we'll be keeping an eye on the Venmo as much as possible, along with the quotes coming in. So, but Landy, back to you.
Yeah. I mean, and then, a little bit further along in that first period, Alexander Ovechkin scores his 13th on the season from Carlson and Oshie. That came at 13:58 in the first period on the power play. And, that's just a traditional Ovi shot from the point, or from the right circle. And he's just got that fabulous one timer, and I didn't think Hell had that much of a shot on that one. I think the defensive alignment again, when you know that you've got Ovi, starting to wind up that cannon, there should be a forward high sticking to him, and it's like, well, where was the forward? Why wasn't he not blocking the shot there? And everybody in the world knows it's going to him on the power play. And again, it just seems like the PK just kind of had a brain fart there.
You would think teams would be watching out for that, by now.
Yeah.
And the guy's got 700. Well, we'll add in the empty netter spoiler alert, but 744 goals. He's set up there all the time. Him and Stamkos. Why isn't anybody watching the back door? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I think honestly, though, we have to talk about the power play. And we have to talk about the Sharks power play and that last minute to minute and a half in that first period. You've got Brent Burns with a complete gaping, wide open net. And he shoots it to the right. I mean, I can understand if you're going to try and go far side because you don't want the goaltender, coming in on your shot. And so if you want to adjust and understanding missing to the left of the goalpost, but to scoop it so far to the right, it's just, this team is continuing to shoot itself in the foot by not taking it the advantage of their opportunities. And again, they're down 2 men. They pass. We didn't see very many shots on net. And finally, when they did get, some sustained pressure, it looked like they had Washington chasing their own tails. Yeah. And tonight, it was continual reluctance to shoot the puck from the blue line. It's the blue liners completely missing the net. And quite frankly, they're just not making smart mental plays in the offensive zone.
And that's And that's
That,
the problem.
yeah.
You have to get the first off, getting into the zone and everything. Yeah, there you go. We're not shooting enough, especially with traffic. We didn't execute off the wall. We didn't shoot enough. It's like, okay, great. You know that. I mean, it's. I know you haven't had a whole lot of time to practice it. These last few games, I think I said 1 for 7 on the 5-game road trip. But man, come on.
Yeah. And I mean, you also had in that first period, Jonathan Dahlen kind of going weirdly into the net. And, the team has already come out to say he's got an upper body injury, but I think we all know that was a popped out shoulder. And, when he came back in that second period, you could just tell there was no strength in that shoulder. He just had no strength in his left on his left arm. He couldn't really hold his stick all that well, couldn't use, the left arm to, extend his stick outward. So, that's concerning because this is now a guy who's a key cog to the offense, a guy that seems to have really good chemistry with both Timo and Couture. And now, I mean, he did give it a go in that second period, but now you got to wonder, okay, what kind of injury is this going to be and how much time is he going to miss? And can the Sharks sustain another body down? You're getting the lucky thing is you're getting LeBanc back from the 1-game suspension, but newsflash for you, LeBanc hasn't been setting the world on fire either.
Right.
So the injuries are mounting and the lack of talent is really starting to show up.
Yeah, and that's the tough part too, is that you didn't have LeBanc in this game because he was suspended for that slew foot. Still waiting for Landeskog's hearing on Meyer from last week, but I digress. But at the same time, I saw that play at the arena before I headed back up here to do the show, and it was weird. He grabbed his top of his arm, or top of his shoulder, then he went back down here, down to near his elbow, and then back up top, and he was kind of just stayed there in pain. He dropped both his gloves, his stick, and he's going back and forth with this, and he was just staying there. And I was like, oh my God, please tell me something's not, happening really, really bad. Not to say that an arm injury like that was really bad, but shoot, it's concerning. Yeah, he came out for the second period, but yikes, that's scary, and hopefully we'll have more very soon. But that's an interesting quote that you have.
Yeah, we were talking about the lack of depth and the lack of a first line talent. Bugner giving some comments tonight about Evander Kane. Of course, everybody knows that Evander's suspension is up and he is available for the game against New Jersey at home,
November 30th.
And Bugner says there's decisions that need to be made on him. And I think the first part of the quote was this: I wish I had more information. I don't. There's decisions that have to be made. And at this point, the Sharks need to start moving on this. It's not like they have a lot of time to really brush this under the rug anymore. And I'm concerned, Erik, that because of the lack of talent, the team might consider dressing him. And I'm concerned that by doing that, they're going to alienate Hertl. And, you can probably say goodbye to a contract extension. And, it will probably lead to a trade before the deadline if Kane is in fact inserted into the lineup. And at this point, it's been well documented that there's not really a way out from the contract. Nobody's going to trade for this guy. So it's either do you sit him and make him go home on all of that, on all that money, or are they going to play him? And for me, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I think he's toxic in that locker room. There have been multiple people that have come out and said that they don't want to be playing with him. And at this point, I don't know. I don't know what management is thinking on this. It's very interesting and very concerning that we haven't heard anything from the brass on this. That leads me to believe that he's going to be reinserted because we haven't heard anything yet.
Just because we haven't heard anything, and the Sharks have said that they weren't going to, discuss it or do anything at this time until we get to that. Well, we're getting to that. We're 10 days away before he's eligible to come back. And you got to, start wondering where this is at. And for that matter, if he's not able to skate in a Sharks facility, my question to you is that do you get him in right away?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what his conditioning is like. We don't know, has he been practicing any kind of drills? His timing is going to be completely off. So, yeah, I mean, these are all questions that, we as fans have been continually asking of the organization, and still we've heard crickets. So It is concerning. I think I'm really concerned when I don't hear anything at all. Kind of we're at that stage right now. But kind of circling back in, yet that lack of talent was definitely evident in the second period because, quite frankly, the team was just stymied through the neutral zone. One and dones into the offensive zone. There was one partial breakaway where he does come out and dangles, and we could see the flashes of rookie Tomas Hertl there. But again, I'm just not seeing enough effort from the forwards right now. Again, mismanagement of the puck through the neutral zone. The continual turnovers, which we have highlighted, and especially in the After Darks that I've been doing, is we've been tracking that takeaway stat. We've been tracking that giveaway stat. And right now, I mean, the team is in double digits in giveaways. Yeah. And again, when you've got a team with Alexander Ovechkin on it, or a John Carlson who can just pick the puck up through the neutral zone, send one of those quick up passes to his forwards like a Kuznetsov or an Oshie or an Alexander Ovechkin, you're going to get nights like this. And this continually shows us that this team has not matured enough. And you would think that they would be mature enough with the types of players that they have on the team, but it has not matured enough. These are preseason type mistakes, and if the Sharks have any aspirations of going anywhere, they got to clean this game up, and they need to do it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, their puck possession has been rough. I mean, their puck control as well. I mean, it just seems like they can't get the puck. They've been losing the face-off battles the last few games early on by a dominant mark. They would recover later on, even sometimes surpassing the 50% mark by the end of the game. But when if you're not having the puck, you're not able to get those penalties that you didn't get those last few games. And when you do, you need to take advantage of it. But when you're not having the puck, you're chasing the game. And when you're chasing the game, you're going to get tired. You're going to get lazy. You're going to take these dumb penalties, And Anthony, you bring up a decent point. The team hasn't looked the same since Eklund was sent back to Sweden.
I think a lot of the team, Erik, just to piggyback on that was a feel-good story for the young kid. And I think a lot of the team fed off of his energy. And you could see that he was a little spark plug. And I think it was probably disheartening for the team to see him be returned home. And that's why I said, I understand the move, but are you going to nuke the morale of the team by making that move? And I think it's been pretty evident that the team is definitely markedly less creative with him not out there. I think it also is, he was making up for a talent gap that the Sharks had, and tonight in his home country, he gets 2 assists and looks,
Oh,
just looks dominant. And it's like, if he's that dominant over there in that league, there is no better league to learn in than the NHL. I mean, this is what this is what he was going for his entire, his entire pro career to this point.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pinnacle of that. And I think back to Patrick Marleau's first season and the way, Daryl handled him. And
Yeah.
I thought that, there were times where Patty had some issues. There were some times where Patty looked like the game was a little bit too fast for him, or he was a little too small for it. But he kept him in, continually, letting him figure it out. And honestly, he grew into a better professional because of that.
Well, I mean, let's do a couple of things here. First off, the Sharks are now 2-4-1 since Eklund went back to Sweden. And there will be some people who say, is a 19-year-old really gonna make that much of a presence? I mean, you would hope for some of the veterans that that's not the case, but you just don't know, And the thing is that he had, I hate to say he had just 4 assists, but I don't think he was ripping it apart. Now look and see what Jonathan Dahlin did in the second division Swedish league last year, and he tore it up, gained some confidence, pretty much got the deal that he got here for posting up all those numbers. And I saw in the chat earlier, it could be a muscle tear. I mean, that's the scary part if it is a muscle tear. Because that's going to be him being out for some time.
That looked like but to me, that looked like a classic pop shoulder, especially if he was going to try and come back and play on that, because I don't think you play through a muscle tear. I think what they probably happened was he went back, they reset his shoulder, they shot him up with some Novocaine, and they said, why don't you go give it a twirl? Again, when I looked at the way he was doing his stick extensions and trying to get the stick on the puck, especially in the offensive zone, you could see that there just was no power. And he had made tried to make a cross ice pass to Couture on a little low 3-on-2 kind of play, and it just had no power on it, and it was gobbled up right in the slot by the defenseman. And to me, again, I don't think you play through a muscle tear, because I think if it's a muscle tear, you don't have any strength at all. With a separation, you normally can,
try to do something with
exactly.
So we'll see. I mean, let's just call it as it is, an upper body injury, and go from there.
Yeah. I think another one that Anthony is bringing up too. Where's the depth, and where is the top 6, the young players that are supposed to provide for this top 6? I mean, Balcers has been missing in action. Barbanoff, I haven't seen enough consistency in his play, especially in the forecheck. It seems like the tonight, especially that the Sharks didn't have very much interest in forechecking.
I don't know if they had much interest in a lot of things tonight. Their play just seemed like it was a little lackluster. Again, we've seen it before from many Sharks teams. We've seen it this season. That first game back from a road trip wasn't exactly the best in the world, but and they showed some chances. I mean, they definitely had some chances early on. That 4-minute power play, golden opportunities, just wayside, and then you take the penalty. I thought Noah Gregor looked good early on. It looked like he picked the corner and it just went wide a little bit in
Yeah.
the first
I mean,
period.
there were three or four posts tonight
Yeah,
and so, in that second period, the shots on goal were 7-10 in favor of the Sharks. And you're exactly right that they had a little bit of a push in the first part of the second period and in the latter part of the second period. And there were stretches where it was just execution. It was execution down low. And Chris, it's good to see you, man. PDO's a dick. He's not wrong.
he's not wrong at all. It's one of those things where it's like, really, really, it's just that and hashtag that's so Sharks.
Hashtag regression to the mean, right?
Yeah, it's like frustrated with that. So.
Yeah, I mean, AJ also bringing up a really good point too. The Sharks are a one-line team for the most part. Aside from Couture's line, that's pretty much it. Hurdle and Barbanoff will get looks, but it also needs to go in. Bottom line is nothing, and I think that also extends to the third and fourth line as well. I mean, I think at this point, I mean, Bonino's struggles is concerning.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
Yeah, it's just. But you know what? It's one of those things where we see it. It's like, it just seems like he's just on the cusp, and now the guys are feeding him. So it's almost like you see the pressure coming on a little bit more now, and it's like, come on, Bones. It's just gonna take one, and then I can just feel the floodgates going. He's gripping the stick and everything. So hopefully he gets to it.
Yeah. Well, going into that third period, I think we had both very much figured that the team was probably going to drag its feet a little bit. I think at that point, it was already 2-0, and going into that third period, the Sharks, would have to mount a very big pushback, and starting on the penalty kill certainly didn't help that. And for me at least, Eric, I didn't see enough. I didn't see enough. And we got to talk about the second Conor Sheary goal coming 15-10 in the third period. Conor Sheary, with Carlson and Ovechkin lending the hand on the helpers there. That goal was, again, another breakdown in fundamentals from Adin Hill. And I mean, you make the initial save, then you stand up and you expose the 5-hole. I mean, just that was Martin Jones-esque 5-hole.
No, I mean he went down the butterfly, made the save, and just as he's opening up one part, Sheary's on his butt, taking the shot, and he's got like if my arms were his legs, if it was that much opening up, and sure enough, that was all he needed to do, and he left it open a little too much longer, and that went in, and it's like, oh man, come on, you can't let that happen. Yeah, and that was a backbreaker.
It was. That was what really sealed the deal. And then finally, Ovechkin gets the empty netter, his 14th on the season, Dowd with the only assist on that one, and the Sharks go down to the Capitals 4-0. Again, I think, one, it's embarrassing to be shut out at your home barn. Two, I think the effort waned as the game went on. And three, the executions in the fundamental department were completely lacking. And I think all of that led to tonight's effort, to tonight's result. And the Sharks really got what they deserved.
Yeah. Unfortunately. And that's the tough part. Chris is saying, this is why it's good to have someone we can swap while he works on these things. Which is good, and follow it up with what AJ said. If Jones is in, this is a 7-0 loss. Reimer is better, clearly, He's clearly the more sounded netminder right now.
Yeah.
Not saying down the road, but Hill hasn't shown anything that's like, okay, you got a 2-year deal out of me. Let's make this happen. I will show you. There have been sparks, but it's been it's been a little bit of you know, here and there, and now Monday you're going to go up against Carolina. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
14-2 Carolina. My goodness.
Yeah. So for all the stat liners here, the Sharks go 22 shots on goal, with the Capitals going 21 shots on goal. Face-off percentage 55% in favor of the Sharks. The Sharks go 0 for 4 on the power play. Capital goes 1 for 3. You've got 39 hits from the Capitals, 40 from the Sharks, 10 blocks for the Capitals, 4 for the Sharks, 6 giveaways for the Caps, 11 giveaways for the Sharks. I mean, you are not going to win games giving up the puck 11 times.
And this is no slouch. This is a Washington team that's pretty good.
I mean, and it's missing Nicky Backstrom, right? I mean, so I don't know where the team is at, mentally right now. I think we're seeing the fragility of the team, especially as it goes through this rough patch and this adversity. But then again, on the bright side, they're NHL 500 still. I mean, they're 8-1. So, if you would have told me 17 games in, you're going to be 500, I probably would have taken that. But I think what we're both seeing is that there are clear signs and clear indicators that give me caution, that give me real pause, and kind of make me think this team is not ready to make the next step yet.
Yeah, they looked like they were early on.
Yep.
They may get there eventually again. But they're in these stretches, and let's be honest, I mean, it's been something to see that these guys just need to go get to. And John, thank you for the super chat, bud. But back to the over the glass bad penalties. I think we tweeted out, or I think HA tweeted out on one of them. It's like the 6th one in like the last 5 games.
Yep.
Man,
and that's just not moving your feet. That's not moving your. Those penalties are a direct result to effort and not exiting the zone cleanly, and it's a lack of effort.
And for that matter, support. Getting somebody open to get that one play up. And granted, you don't want to go up the middle of the ice because that could just set up disastrous for you. So that's why you're rimming it around the boards, but sometimes you're just not getting it. So that's it. Chris, thank you very much, bud. And Laurel, I saw that you had made a donation as well. So thank you very much, Laurel. Chris has said, our good friend and one of the founders of the podcast, says he will match all donations up to $100 for Hockey Fights Cancer. So, not to interrupt our recap, but again, if you Venmo us at Teal Town USA, all of that will go to Hockey Fights Cancer. We'll do some giveaways on Wednesday's show, and we will put all the donations to the Hockey Fights Cancer raffle. And if one of our raffles win, we'll pick somebody to win a nice trip to the All-Star game in somewhere in like Las Vegas or something, so that'd be helpful. Even if we don't win, we're still gonna hook everybody up with some nice prizes.
We got swag, we got prizes. I mean, it's it's the bee's knees. So if you haven't already, please consider donating to at Teal Town USA on Venmo, and everything goes to Hockey Fights Cancer.
Just another Randy G. What do the Kraken, Sharks, and Canucks have in common with their mascots? You can find them all at the bottom of the Pacific.
Oh, low blow.
Damn.
Low blow.
Damn. You
know. This is coming in from AJ, just giving us a little bit more insight on the packages for the donations. All donations using Venmo tonight will be given to the Hockey Fights Cancer Foundation for their raffle. A name will be chosen at random to receive the All-Star Game package. Every donation will be entered.
Absolutely. Thank you, AJ, let us know how much we have so far. I'm curious to what we've got going on here.
So your ice time leaders tonight: Brent Burns clocking in at 25:50, Erik Karlsson 23:17. Over on the forward side, Tomas Hertl with 22 minutes, Logan Couture with 20 minutes, Alexander Barbanov with 19 minutes. Again, I think it clearly the loss of Dahlin in that first period affected the way in which the team had to deploy its forwards. Also losing Gadovich for a few series as well, with the high stick and the subsequent lossage of tooth. I mean, you've got some inflated ice time stats, and again, John, really appreciate it.
John, thank you, bud.
Yeah, and thank you for finding a way, even though you don't have Venmo. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. So far, we have $20 in Venmo donations from Laurel, Mario, Caroline, and Jerry. Thank you very much for that. We'll find a way to get that over to, for you, John, and see what we can do for you there. But kind of getting back to the point is that secondary scoring.
Yep.
And with Dahlin out of the lineup for what could be for a considerable time, this is their chance. Barabanov, this is your chance. You're already up in the top six.
Balsers.
Balsers. This is your time too. I know Ian's big on Rudolph's Balsers too. The other part, and Felix, thank you. You are part of the crew. You are not eligible. I'm sorry, but you can't win your own contest. I'm sorry that we can't do that. But thank you for the donation. But for Kevin Labanc coming back from his 1-game suspension, I could see him moving back up in the top 6. But this is one of those. You got to show me something, man.
Well, you
got to show me something.
At this point, though, like, do they have any choice as to playing him in the top 6? I don't really think that they do. I think that they have to play him in the top 6 just because of the depleted town, especially if Dahlin's going to miss any time of consequence.
Absolutely. And so Labanc, this is your time. I mean, you had the sweetheart deal. Now you're getting the extra pay for it, but now it's time to show up. You got to get this going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Carolina, good luck. But I mean, not to say that Washington is,
Yeah, not to say that Washington isn't a slouch, but no, Carolina is going to be very, very difficult. Erik, I think it's that time.
Oh boy. I mean, we have gotten Venmo donations, so of course, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Say that one more time.
Oh, I was going to say, let's do the wraparound.
Yeah, it is the reach around.
It's wraparound. Damn it, Landy.
No, I like it my way. Thank you very much. So starting off the night, you've got the Hurricanes beating the Kings 5-4. Quite a lot of scoring in this one. Jarvis, Stefan scoring in the first. Aho, Kotkaniemi, Nikas scoring in that second. For LA, you had Lizoet, Kempe scoring twice. Lemieux, and you got Peterson with the loss for the LA Kings. The Devils beat the Lightning 5-3. Sharagonovich, Mercer, VC, Sharagonovich again, and Tatar with the scores for the Devils. And you got Ruda, Maroon, and Victor Hedman scoring for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay, two things there really quick.
Uh-oh.
First off, damn it, Tampa, for not having Stamkos or points or anything for my fantasy
Is
team.
that a fantasy thing?
Yeah, but secondly, did you see the Devils' third jersey supposedly leak?
No, I haven't seen it.
Did you see that? Oh, go look at it when you get a chance. It reminds me of the black and white Blackhawks Winter Classic jersey, and it's a yikes.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm not usually critical of Adidas jerseys because some of their designs have been great, but yee. But go on.
The Panthers and the Wild. The Panthers beating the Wild 5-4. You had Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov, Fogliano, and Hartman all scoring for the Wild. Over on the Panthers, you had Tippett, Vetrano scoring twice, Verhaeghe and Sam Bennett. And then thank you, AJ, for that little tidbit. Joe Thornton with an assist and a +3 tonight.
Yeah, bud. Making it rain in South Florida. Yeah, boys.
Sergei Bobrovsky with the win. The Penguins beat the Maple Leafs 2-0. You had Gensel and Carter scoring for Pittsburgh, and Tristan Jarry with the shutout. So
wow.
Yeah, and that moves the Penguins to 7-6-4. Still kind of middling in that Metro division, but a good win for them. The Canadiens beat the Predators 6-3. You had Lekkonen, Dvorak, Gallagher, Poling scoring twice, and Toffoli with the goals for the Canadiens, with Duchesne having a hat trick on the losing end for the Predators. And
that was a natural hat trick too.
Yeah,
dang,
a natty hattie. They don't happen often, but natty hattie for Matty. Over with the Flames beating up on the Islanders 5-2. The Islanders are now 5-7-2 on the season, and a little bit concerning over there on the Isles. But opening up in that brand new facility in Belmont, it was off the hook, and it's good to see the people of the island getting some love and getting a new stadium, so that is awesome. But Richardson, Mangiapane scoring twice, Lewis and Goudreau all with the markers for the Flames.
Yeah, that rink is beautiful. They really did a nice job tying it in with Belmont Park and some of the New York, and I love the lighthouses in the corners of the arena, which is pretty cool. The Venmo link is at Teal Town USA. So feel free to go to Venmo and at Teal Town USA on there for it. So we really appreciate it. Big time.
Thank you, everybody. The Bruins beat the Flyers 5-2. Noshik, Forbert scoring twice, Smith and Pasternak with the goals for the Bruins. Martin Jones taking the loss there, and somewhere Ian Reed is thanking his lucky stars.
Let's see. I gotta see a save percentage in this one. It was an 886. Ian's breathing a little bit here, folks.
That he is.
He's at 5-3-2, 2.82 goals against with a 920 save percentage. Oh boy! All right, sorry, he's 3-2. Excuse me, with 5 games played, so he's a quarter away there. But 920. Oh, he's getting close to it. He's getting close to that 915.
In the battle of the crappy and crappier, the Coyotes beat the Red Wings 2-1. Dzingel,
you're not wrong.
Dzingel,
Detroit's been good.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're below 500 now. Dzingel and Keller with the scores for the Coyotes. Larkin scoring for the Red Wings, but the Red Wings are now 8-9-3. So precipitous fall from that little bit of a hot start that they had going on at the beginning. The Stars continue to make life difficult for the Blues, 4-1 tonight. and you got Suter, Hintz scoring twice, and Jamie Benn all scoring for the Stars, with the only marker for St. Louis coming from Brandon Saad. You've also got Las Vegas beating the Blue Jackets 3-2. Smith, Kolsar, and Janmark with the markers for the Golden Knights. And you had Nyquist and Texier scoring over for the Blue Jackets. And John, appreciate it, dude. He is just going and making it rain on the donations.
Appreciate it, John. So no Brutus the Barber Beefcake haircut yet for Ian. He's got 15 to go, and Martin Jones has to keep that save percentage of 915.
Yeah, 915.
Go ahead. By the way, in that Dallas game, Joe Pavelski with an assist.
Figures. That's all I gotta say about that. It figures. Oilers beat the Blackhawks 5-2. The misery continues for the Blackhawks. You had DeBrincat scoring twice, but McDavid, Tyson Barrie, Yamamoto, McLeod, and Draisaitl all scoring for the Oilers. And raise your hand if you saw that one coming.
Right.
So then you had, of course, tonight's stinker to end out the night with the Rangers and Senators being postponed. The Senators getting the mighty love from the NHL, postponing their games. I wonder why they did that. Could it happen to be that it was a Canadian team that got some love? I don't know.
Because the media got upset about it. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're Sharks fans. I guess we can't have nice things, right? So,
no, we just get suspensions. That's all.
For, phantom slewfoots, but I digress. All right, Erik. I mean, where do we go from here? To me, this is a team that has to get back to playing simple foundational hockey, and there's no other rhyme or reason or way about it. I mean, the passes need to be crisper. The movement along the boards needs to be crisper. The breakouts from the defensive zone needs to be crisper. And I don't know, what else to say besides they need to really focus on the fundamentals at this point.
Yeah, I mean, their skating needs to be a little bit faster. Like you said, the crisp passes need to be going better. Puck possession needs to be a priority. So you got to fight for those battles. You got to be on those boards. You have to be a little bit tougher too. Let's be honest here. The physicality was getting to the guys a little bit. Kudos to Hurdle throwing his weight and knocked Tom Wilson down. That's for darn sure. But you have to wonder now, where do you go from here? Logan Couture, this is your team. You said you were having a lot of fun early on. Yeah, now you've hit a rough spot now. This is where the team needs you. The same thing with Brent Burns, Erik Karlsson, Mario Ferraro. Guys, you need to help out and get this thing turned around. 8-1 now.
I mean, not only that, but to me, Erik, I think it has to start from the third and fourth lines. I mean, you cannot have Tomas Hertl and Logan Couture shouldering all of the offensive load, and Timo Meier for that matter. Those three have been the most consistent forwards on the team, but they can't move everything. I need to see some more out of Jasper Weatherby. I need to see some more out of Bonino. And Cogliano for that matter as well. These are veteran guys that know that they need to be better, but it really has to start from the bottom, and they have to elevate their games, and they have to elevate it quickly, or else this team is going to get buried in the standings, and we can forget about even attempting a run at a wild card spot.
Yeah, Russell Anderson, Bud. Thanks for watching, my friend. That's a long-time high school friend. But when any team fails repeatedly, you have to talk about leadership and management. Great leadership can take a mediocre team and win, but leaders can lose, with the most talented players. And that's where some of these guys lean on to those leaders of this team, and they need to pump it up. You don't have to get all gushing about it like, oh my gosh, let's go. Oh yeah, you're so wonderful. No, you need to do it.
And they need to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
They need to hold their themselves accountable. And like, for instance, if you're Tomas Hertl and you're leading that line, you've got to get more out of Alexander Barbanoff, especially when he's going in on the forecheck. Too many times he lets up on the opposing defenseman and doesn't make them pay the price to go in the corner. Too many times I've seen bolsters just get thrown around like a rag doll. And again, Tomas Hertl cannot shoulder the entire physical load for his line. He's got to have more. And
you look at Barabanov. He took 2 shots to the head on this previous road trip. You guys have to be stronger and everything, but at the same time, let's hope he's okay too, for that matter. You need to. You can't be just a one-line team. You can't be just a top 6. You also have to have the second 6 to make sure they can produce and play their role. Because, I mean, shoot, you said how much for Hertl tonight? 22 minutes?
Yeah, 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's way too much for a forward.
That's Connor McDavid-esque.
Well, and granted, I know they were double shifting because of the injuries to Dahlin and then briefly for Gadjevich, so...
Yeah. And if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Hit the like button as well. Also, if we haven't mentioned already, once this show is over, put a comment up. It gets us a little bit more into the algorithm, and that way we can grow this thing and continue to offer great raffles and great prizes and great content for you Sharks fans. So appreciate everybody logging in tonight and especially chatting and having good discourse. And I mean, Erik, I think it's about time to put the nail in the coffin on this one. What do you want to see going into that Monday game?
You want to see some fight. You want to see some passion and playing with with just the gusto that you had the first few games from this team. This team is very capable of making things happen. It's just about making sure you get the get the puck. I mean, puck possession is it sounds like so simple and everything, but puck possession it's a big thing. So
so puck possession, and I think making smart moves, especially through the neutral zone and the defensive zone. It's got to start with those fundamentals, right? So if you, in case you missed us and you want to check us out across all of the social media platforms that we got going on and podcasting platforms, check us out on Apple, the Apple Podcast Store. You've got the Google Play Store, of course, on the YouTube replay, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, you name it, we're on it. And then, of course, as always, you can check out all the great content and the great stories we've got up on tealtownusa.com. Erik, final thoughts on where the people can find you?
My final thoughts are this, with us all rocking lavender, it's tough to say, we love hockey and everything. But this one's all, I think, very near and dear to all of us. I don't think there's anyone that hasn't had somebody get hit with
ravaged by cancer.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that we've been wanting to do for some time, and we're glad we're able to do this right now. Last check, we were at $20 on the Venmo and $15 from or $25, from John in the super chat. So the super chat gets prorated, of course. Google takes their share of it, so we'll have to find some way to figure that out. But if you're a Venmo already, we appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, so $25 $25 in Venmo donations. So far we have $25 going to that. This is going to continue on Sunday night at 7 p.m. for Pucknologists, and then Monday night following the Sharks and Canes, we'll be doing the same thing again. And then, of course, we'll go from there. We'll be raffling off prizes. Of course, if one of those raffle tickets we turn into a Hockey Fights Cancer donation, turns into a win for the All-Star Vegas trip, the people who have donated, you're in the running. So just have that in the back of your mind. You know, there's some nice prizes that we're going to be giving out, but at the same time, maybe just, in other words, just like the Sharks for the playoffs. So you're telling me there's a chance?
It's 1 in a million. Yes. Hey, and if you guys want to come join us in the shenanigans with the Discord, John with a late one,
$20 donation.
Oh, he really wants to milk Chris for all of his money there. But like we said, if you want to come join the shenanigans over on Discord, AJ has posted up the link up there, and we appreciate that, AJ. So for myself, I'm at Erik Landy, ErikLandi on all the social media garbage. Doing some moonlighting over at Genuine Drafts, so check that out too. You've also got some great content and stuff coming up on Pucknologists tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for that. And my final thoughts on this one. You know, again, I think that the team just needs to reset, refocus, and really get back to the fundamentals of the game, especially in the goaltending and especially in their own zones on the defensive coverages, because right now they're leaving a lot to be desired. But that's it from me, and that's it from us. And we super appreciate everybody's donations tonight. And as always, Erik, you take us out.
First off, puck cancer, first and foremost. But until next time, keep that subscribe button going. Hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when we're on the air. Pucknologists, Sunday night at 7. We'll be back after Sharks and Canes. But until then, we'll be on the Discord channel. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.